How's your squad looking for tomorrow night, Davey?
Still in the process of finalising that. Obviously the 2 games this week with the first team and ourselves in consecutive days. Then once we get clarity and what the first team want to keep back is potentially part of their squad, then B team squad will be confirmed in the back of that.
So there might also be a chance for some of the first team, or for some of your boys to play in the first team on Wednesday night, so you also the manager gets first dibs on your players.
That's the law of any football club, and that's what we want. If any player is not part of our game tomorrow because they're going to be part of the first team squad, then that's success. That's what we want, and that's the most important thing for us.
Also seen Bailey Rice get some more minutes yesterday. What's that done for him, and how big a recognition is for that for him and also for the whole academy set up here?
I think the first thing when I was watching the game is that the manager's put Bailey Rice on with 10 minutes to go, and the game's still sitting very much on knife edge. It's still sitting at 1-0, and that shows trust. It shows belief, and I know speaking to Bailey briefly this morning about that, he feels that. That's important to him. For any young lad that's in their academy, the holy grail is to get to our first team. That's what we want to try and promote and try and push players towards. But we won't do it for them. They've got to do it. They're part of this journey. They'll get as much support and what we believe to be a really good programme for them to go and develop in. But ultimately, it comes down to going to compete and be something that the manager and the staff take a liking to. And like I use the word trust, it's the most important thing, and we'll keep supporting. Any player that sees Bailey do that, we've got to take some sort of belief that if you're good enough, then doors will open.
The manager's also spoken quite a lot about him. We spoke after the game last week and hinted that he would be involved at the weekend. What's Bailey like as a boy, and he's taking all this in his stride and just really enjoying it?
Bailey's level, you don't see him getting too up or too down, which is a good trait to have. That's not to say he's still got an emotional side as any young footballer would have, but I think what he does is he backs himself, which is important. He's got a bit of personality, so I think that when you go and play with senior professional players at a club like ourselves, you need to be able to back yourself, and he does that really, really well. He's got a talent, and it's up to him to go and try and maximise that talent and take opportunities that the manager wants to open up for him. And that opportunity is not just restricted to the game day. That opportunity is also every day that he walks in this building. When he trains with the first team and what he does when he's off the pitch, what he accesses from the sports science perspective to try and make sure we're pushing every aspect of his development. So he gets that. He loves the football bits, of course he does, but he recognises all areas of his game that he's still developing, and he is still developing. But he's doing that at a point where he's getting access and getting a bit of profile with the around the first team squad, which is we're all delighted for.
Obviously now acts as an inspiration, despite only being 16, 17, he's an inspiration for guys also in your squad, guys that have lowered down the squads, to prove that pathway is there. If you are good enough, then the manager will put your faith in it.
I don't particularly like the word pathway, because I don't think any player is entitled. I think you want to try and develop their own journey, help them in their own journey, put ownership on them, recognise as much as we recognise, they recognise what their strengths are, and we really hone those strengths and push them. Areas of development, obviously want to try and push to try and get a more rounded sort of football players for the first team, take a liking to them. But ultimately, a player drives his journey. We every Sunday we'll pass the schedule of the week to the players. I was speaking this to the players last week about when you get that schedule, what do you look for? They say, look for when the games, you look for when time of training, etc. Some will say that they're looking for the gaps, they're looking for the bits that they can be selfish and do bits themselves. So that's important to us, because if it's only about what we do, what we schedule, what we provide, they'll progress, of course they will. But see the selfish ones, the ones that actually do that a little bit more and push their own journey and drag us with them as opposed to us take them. We always believe those are the ones that will take that little bit step further, and that's what we're trying to push within the group.
What do you think you'll get out of the game tomorrow? Also looking for a result in terms of progression, but in terms of a challenge and bringing the boys on, what can this game and this tournament actually do for you as part of your schedule this season?
The boys, and obviously I can't speak for them directly, but I can just speak for the ones I've spoken to and speak from a staff point of view. We've got such an exciting programme this season. We've played in some really top level games, played against men in the Scottish terms in terms of the Trust Cup already, which was the Spartans and Stennis Muir. We've got this one to look forward to tomorrow night. We've played against men in the European sense, we've played against the English-based teams at a similar sort of level. So our variety's been excellent, which has been great for the players' challenge and development. They've had to think a lot about their own individual game and within a team context as well. Tomorrow just brings another part of that. It will be a different type of game. It will be against men that will look at us and hopefully they'll see that we're a good team, we're good individual players. But they'll probably look at us and think they might have a chance to they're older than us and they maybe a bit more, they can make it difficult for us just in that aspect alone, and that's fine. That's something we want our players to go and manage and deal with. We had that challenge particularly against Stennis Muir, where they, I spoke to the managing team after the game, they want to try and make it difficult for us because we're younger and that's fine because we need to stand up to that. That's part of the players' development journey. So it's another variation of having to manage a game, but within that we have to be us. You know, our players need to back who they are, need to believe in who they are as individual players, but within how we want to play as a team, as a unit. And so far this year, when we've faced most of the challenges, they've done that really quite well. So tomorrow's another one. We'll look forward to it. And, you know, the back end of this, talk about the cup opportunity at the back end of this as another game. Obviously, Airdrie's sitting in the background, another game is another league up. So that's the challenge.
Just finally from me, is it too early to tell if the games programme this season has been or is being more beneficial than what you've had the last couple of seasons, or to make a decision not to take part in the Lowland League? Is what the boys have been through and what you've been through, are you already seeing the results of that and thinking that was the right way to go this summer and this season?
Yes, I'll go straight to the last question. Yeah, I think what we've done this season, we've researched, and we've looked back in the data collected, we've looked back in the tactical challenges we're having to deal with, all aspects of individual development and team development. We believe, and you know, the one that's a really clear data is the physical data, that what we're players having to cover in terms of high intensity work and sprint distance and total distance, because there's times in games you have to work just that a little bit harder because of the way the games are getting played. There's a real tactical challenge on what teams are trying to do when they have the ball and how they make it difficult for us, how they challenge us when we have the ball. It's not to say we don't get it here, we do, but it's just different. It's just different, and so we believe so far that the games programme that we've put in place has helped develop the players. There's no question about that. But had we stayed in the programme we're in, I'm sure there would be different developments in there as well in a different way. But we believe the decision we took was right. We've managed to get a good mixture of players in terms of fluctuating between first team and the B team squad. The 18's obviously bounced into the squad as well, so there's been a good movement of players, which is part of the journey, because I don't think we've really had the same group to go into consecutive games. It's constantly changing, which we like that, because then players are getting different challenges along the way as well, which is part of the study that we know that, you know, variation of challenges is a good way of developing young football players. So we enjoy that. The players, as I said to you, the ones that I constantly speak to, they are enjoying the challenge. So we want to keep pushing that, because some exciting games coming up, but tomorrow's the most important one, first and foremost.
A mixture of results for Alloa, a win, a draw and a loss in their previous three. What do you expect for their team coming into this, Mark?
They look at the game, I think, a little bit differently. It's away from the league programme. It's very early in the league just now anyway, so I don't think there'll be a lot of emphasis on that just now, but I don't know. You know, it's their first Trust Cup game, so I don't know how much they'll change the group, but we'll plan for them to have what we believe to be their normal kind of playing squad, and we'll work off the back of that. But from their point of view, I can't really give you too much an answer on what they'll look at. I won't look too much into their league programme, I'll just look at how they play. I'll look at how I've seen them play, I'll look at, but more importantly, how we play. What challenges we'll have in a defensive sense, what challenges we'll have in terms of breaking them down, and we'll try and make sure we show the version of us.
Do you think this is maybe one of the benefits of having the best v best system, in that you still get to play Scottish first teams as well as maybe first teams abroad or development squads abroad, that it provides the same challenge but just in perhaps the actual environment that players will be hoping to get in the future?
It's just different, like I said to Chris, it's just different because I believe the games we've had so far have been a brilliant test for the players in different ways, but this brings a different test and a different challenge. Playing against men in the Scottish League system is a brilliant opportunity for our boys to go and show what they're capable of doing as a young group of players together against a good team at a higher league. Like I said, to the benefit of this game, it's not about looking beyond the 2, 3, 4 rounds ahead of this. It's about looking at this game and saying, right, let's go and perform, let's go show who we are when we have the ball, show that we're competitive when we don't have it. We've got a real sort of desire to make sure we show who we are. But the benefit is to go and play against a team in the next league up again, and that's the advantage of winning the game. So, like I said, we'll look forward to being a really competitive game tomorrow night, and hopefully we'll go and make sure that we can perform at those levels of who we are and deal with the competitive side at the same time.
So is that very much the ambition for the competition? It's just encouraging the boys, well, this gets you another game, another league up, rather than saying any aspirations of a final or anything like that. It's more so the carrot of the next game.
Yeah, we look at a programme, we look at the challenges that are coming ahead of us. Like I said, to that game we've got tomorrow night, what we've already got put in place over the upcoming weeks and months, which will start to come out over the next bit of time. But the benefit of this game tomorrow night is that it's a competitive game. It's in a stadium where you obviously hopefully get a decent number of fans from both sides coming to watch the game, which I think is always good for the players as well. But the benefit is to go, and if you win it, then it's about playing against Airdrie. That's the next challenge off the back of this. But as I said, we'll focus on our performance tomorrow.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks, David.
Cheers.